Hello and welcome to Radio Waves, a production of Red Apples Media. I'm your host, Kris Poliquin, and we're broadcasting out of WLBE My 790 AM out of Leesburg, Florida. And if you're watching us on Lake-Sumter television, you're doing so on Comcast Channel 13, Bright House 498, and CenturyLink Channel 83. So for today's show, we're going to be making waves with Miss Maria Stefanovic.
Very good.
I got it. And I told you I was a little worried about
that. Was
nice. Who is the Executive Director of the Leesburg Center for the Arts.
Correct.
Maria, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. So let's get started with what exactly is Leesburg Center for the Arts?
So the Leesburg Center for the Arts is a venue for artists, creatives. It's a sense of place for artists, creatives, musicians, and the appreciative audiences in Leesburg to come in and create and be a part of the process and collaborate. It's just a way for us to, it's just our home.
Your home.
It's our home. So we do a lot of different things because art is reaches into just various different
realms.
I mean, it really is. It's a benefit for community development. It's a benefit for economic development, but it's also a learning tool for our kids for cognitive development and communication skills. So we try really hard to provide that to the community, and we do that through just different art programs. For instance, we reach 1,000 kids a year. That's more than the attendance at Carver Middle School. And by doing so, it's a combination between internal programming that we have at the Arts Center, but then our outreach programs where we go into our neighborhoods and inner communities and provide the same programming that we do inside with instructors and art techniques, and we give that same environment to the kids. So we're more than just four walls. We're a sense of place.
You spoke briefly about economic development as well. And a recent study just came out. And when I read it, I was quite surprised. A, because it would just take forever to collect that much data. But just how much it actually has affected our local communities. Now, we're talking specifically about your organization, Leesburg,
yes.
in Leesburg. But it affects
Lake
County. And it's a surprising number. It was like $9 million.
$9.1 million.
That it brought into
the community. Impact, economic impact for Lake County. That it was 200 full-time jobs that was part of that. And the Americans for the Arts is a national organization that advocates for the arts in general. And they provide... they advocate to the federal government, but they collect data for us to have so that we have supporting data when we go out and want to spread the word of why arts is a benefit to our community and why arts is important in our lives. So they came back with, it was a year-long study, and it's $9.1 million of the economic impact for Lake County, 200 full-time jobs, and it stretched out for 314 regions in the whole United States. So we were part of that, and we were matched up with Orlando and Miami. So it was cool. It was a really significant number for us, and it's a true number, and that we can always assume and say that we think that this is what's happening and we think the impact is this, but to actually now have hard data to support our vision and our advocacy and our message is important.
And I think so too. And the message is what I'm going to ping in on here, because through the last couple of decades, the arts have become less and less important to the education of kids. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to say less important necessarily, but I just think the perception is, well, let's do more math.
Yes.
Because you see serious art classes, kindergarten, pre-K, a lot of arts and crafts and stuff like that. But when we're talking true art, the study of learning the art, I think it's kind of going away, kind of like with music, which is, again, yet another art.
Yes. well, it's the perception of what art is.
Right.
And through the years of them devaluing what art is, and it's been convoluted in a sense where art is just arts and crafts, or it's just drawing on a piece of paper. And it's hard to put it in words, but it comes down to the fact of creative writing as a form of art. Songwriting is a form of art. Architectural design is a form of art. Landscaping is a form of art. We are surrounded by different forms of art, but it's important to each one of us to recognize that.
And I think that's where we're not anymore. Right. Not as much as we once did.
Right. And there's a confusion aspect. People forget that performing arts is a form of art. They assume that it's visual arts. And with us, the center, we're striving towards those. We want to encompass all of that. Right. And be recognized as being that venue for all sorts of arts. That's where our next step in our vision planning and what I want to see accomplished through the Center for the Arts is that we become a vehicle for the arts, and we encompass all of that. So there's that.
There's that.
There's that. It's a whole different
just a little
side
bit of
note.
Stuff. Yeah.
So it's interesting how much we do. It helps with communication skills. I mean, it is probably the most primitive form of storytelling. If you think about all the cave drawings that are out there,
right.
that is a visual art that was used to tell the story of that moment in time and how it affected that person, and it's connected to an emotion, and it's connected into a way of leaving that the story of that family. So you're building onto your inner community. You're building that value of what community is, because you're giving that intrinsic value of nostalgic connection. So there's a lot that's really important to why. Oh, there's a lot of components. There's a lot of components to why art is important, and those are things I want to focus on.
Sure. And I believe you hit something again that we take for granted. It is everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, you're watching television at night nowadays. Graphic artists, artists, movies, posters, the billboards, and it's just stuff to us now. And I've always been concerned with how we're kind of just pushing art. Now you have the lovers of, the youth that come up. No, I want to be a guitarist.
Yes,
I want, and they're just passionate about it, and they go to it, and they try to follow their dreams, whether it be in paint, music, what have you, or stage for that matter. So what all do you do? Do you do just crafts and arts and crafts for the super young, the hold music? Because you rambled a lot of stuff off in the beginning, and it's like, okay, it almost sounds like a community center type of thing.
It's overwhelming. It really is. We have a very active calendar, and it goes on all sorts of times and different days. So we have our summer art camp it's happening now. And it's the art around the world, and we have kids from high school all the way to preschool that come in, and it's set up all throughout the year, all throughout the summer for them to learn activities, art instruction. Then we do some after-school programming, but we have open studio on Fridays, and that is a way for artists to come in with not really a lot of parameters. They can just come in and hang out, and there's usually someone that's willing to teach something, but that happens on Friday, and that's from 10 to 12.
Okay, well, we'll get into some of your events, but right now we need to take a break. So we'll be back here in a few moments. Hi, and welcome back to Radio Waves. Again, I'm your host, Kris Poliquin, and we're speaking with Maria Stefanovic.
Hey.
That's twice.
That is.
I'm telling you, I'm getting better at this.
Practice makes perfect.
Yeah. So before the break, we were talking about the Leesburg Center for the Arts. So now I'd kind of like to see, where you're at now with the center, and what kind of direction you want to take it, being the executive director.
Well,
because it sounds like you do a lot already.
We do. We have crazy footprint into what we do, who we are. I mean, it's vast. We do kid programming. We offer art instruction and mentorship, and then we also have a artist community that's under the Leesburg Center for the Arts. That's 50 members. And they come in and use the studio space. They come in and do workshops, and they host the open studio on Fridays, it is open to the public, but most of them are part of this artist membership group.
Okay, because I was going to ask if all of these programs were open to the public.
And most of them are. Some have price tags, some don't. It just kind of depends on what you're willing to do and what you want to do. We are trying to focus, most of our kid programs, we try really hard to find additional funding that will support them so that kids can come in on a scholarship and their parents are not hounded, or the pressure's not there to come up with the extra money for summer camp or for after school programming. Because of the lack of art in our school system, there's a popularity, or there is a need for art instruction for middle schoolers. So we're hoping to dabble a little bit more into that. So a little bit about my vision. What I want to do is expand on some of our student classes that we have to help them fine-tune their skill of what they want to do, and give them and team them up with a mentor that's coming out of our artist membership program that we have. So that's one of them. But really it becomes building the awareness of who we are and why we're important.
Right.
And why we're important to our community, why we're important to Leesburg, Lake County, to Central Florida. We're funded by the United Arts of Central Florida, and their reach is all of Florida, technically. So our message gets delivered through them as well. So our footprint is throughout Central Florida. And with that being said, I also want to be able to use art as that vehicle for community development, to build a stronger community, so that it's recognized that it is an economic development component to enhancing our quality of life. It's not just a beautification process. It is people are looking for art centers. They're looking for art organizations, museums, theaters as a venue option.
Sure.
Hobbies. Their first
lack of a better term, kind of like a club.
Yeah.
I like to do this stuff. Where can I go do it with others?
Others of like mind, yes.
Individuals.
And that's a big part of it. And we've experienced for the last 2 months surges of our popularity in our open studio. And because of that, they're realizing that there are people that are out there that are like them and close to home. So there's a sketchers crawl group that they really literally go out and sketch. There's 10, 15 of them that meet up, and they go all throughout Lake County, and their hub is Leesburg, and they sketch different things.
Really?
Yep. They meet up at Simon Seed. They've gone to our town square. They've gone to Brownwood, Yalaha Bakery. So it's just a type of form of art that it's art journaling, and it's their way of enhancing their skill and practicing. So we've got a little bit of different things. We've got a flute circle that meets once a month, and it's
you said flute.
Flute, Native American flute circle.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
So they meet once a month, and they actually do performances, and they're just really cool people. Their love for the Native American flute, their passion is overwhelming.
Now, do they perform anywhere?
They perform. They'll go to Rhythm Nations, which is in Melbourne, and perform. They perform at our art festival on the stage that's by the library. They will perform at just different venues, whatever's open and available to them. but they also construct their own flutes. Some of them will actually build their own flutes, so that's cool to watch and see and be a part of. And so we also have a drum circle that meets, and they meet once a month, and we're working on building that. So Chad Cook, who's a local musician, has joined in on the fun and is going to lead our group, and you'll see the drum circle everywhere.
Really?
Yes.
See, that's great, though. Again, like-minded people going, yeah, well, that would be fun. And
Yes.
and now they're getting together. They're sharing information, getting better.
Absolutely.
Or changing their, lack of a better term, format, style.
Yes,
maybe.
yeah.
And then they get to actually go out and put it to practice.
Yeah. Well, it's super cool to watch that happen. It's
Yeah.
creatives. I mean, they're literally making this thing and creating it, and it becomes like something completely different. You're morphing it into something different, and I like to be part of that. It's building their own little empire.
Yeah, for sure. And you spoke about the arts festival.
Yes.
I mean, that's not a small piece of cheese
It's
there. I
not.
mean, it's a pretty big deal now.
And
I guess has been.
It has. We just celebrated our 40 years. Sid Smith, who's the founder of the art festival, he collaborated, and the Leesburg Area Chamber of Commerce actually was part of that process in the beginning. And then when the Leesburg Center for the Arts was established, they turned around and gave it to us as one of our festivals, because it made sense.
Sure.
Art festival,
Well,
art center.
Of course.
Let's put that together.
Do y'all do anything with the art festival? No. Why would you think that, right?
What just happened? So, but Sid Smith is the artist of the Bicentennial Leesburg mural that is part of our permanent collection now. So we hang that in the art center. When we have rotating shows, when our walls are empty, it comes down and we tell the story of Leesburg through his murals. And it's pretty cool, because he was able to depict pretty much a really accurate timeline of our history as Leesburgians, and put it on canvas.
For everybody to see.
For everybody to see, yeah.
And interpret.
Yes,
And to
yes.
stare and marvel.
Yeah.
So if someone wanted to get more information, because I'm sure we have listeners out there that go, I like to do this type of stuff. Where can they get more information to see if this is something they might be interested in?
Well, you can check out our website. We have a revolving calendar on there, and contact information. It's LeesburgCenterForTheArts.com.
Okay.
All spelled out.
All right. So let's talk about some of the other things you have coming up. Do you have any big fundraisers or major events that people can look forward to in the next month or two?
Sure.
Or 3 for that matter?
We've got our wine pairing dinner that happens in September. And
For all the little kids.
For all the little kids.
That's a joke.
I got it. I got it.
No, I just want to make sure everybody else does.
So we have our wine pairing dinner that's been going on for 5 or 6 years, and that is with collaboration with Joyce Huey from Two Old Hags and Gourmet Today, Jesse Flynn. And we're going to pair some wine with some really cool, spectacular food and make an evening of it. And it is one of our main fundraisers that we do. The proceeds go to our kid art programs that we offer, because we try to make those free.
Sure.
So we need money to make that happen. And we do a silent auction. So it's a really great time. Our community comes out and really comes and supports in full force. So it's always nice to see that. And it's amazing how many people really give towards our kids' art program.
Of course. Of course.
And value that. So it kind of gets teary and emotional and all that hotness.
Aww. Don't get me crying. I don't cry. I don't cry on this show.
Don't do it.
It's okay.
So then we have Beast Feast, which is in October, and that is an annual event. It is at Moat Morris, the Moat Morris House, the lawn there, and we truly celebrate different foods from our. Hold on, back up. Not different foods, different meat.
Oh, okay.
So
I kind of hope so.
Yeah. No. So there's zebra, there's rabbit, there's wild boar.
You said zebra?
Yeah, I'm being serious. Zebra.
Well, that's a horse of a different color.
So, and we make it a event of food, and you come in, and it's similar to the April Fish Fry that the Leesburg Partnership puts on. You go and you pay a ticket, and you fill your plate with some really yummy, delicious different meets.
And when is this?
October 26th.
Okay. And when was the wine?
The wine is September 8th.
September 8th. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So both are coming up fast.
Yeah, it is. And, well, we still got to get through the dog days of summer.
That's true.
That's all right. Okay. So now you were talking a little bit earlier about summer camps for kids.
Yes.
Speaking of summer.
Yes. So we are in full-blown summer camp mode. We just had the opportunity to have high school and middle school, and that was the first 2 weeks of June. And then we take 2 weeks off because it is summer, so everyone wants to go on vacation, including myself.
Sure.
And then we kick back up. It's the second week of July with preschool, then followed by early elementary and then older elementary. With that being said, our early elementary is closed. Registration is closed. It is completely full.
Really?
Yeah. We do really well at our camp. The interest is there, and these kids love it. I wanted to give you this example before, but I got really wordy and forgot.
It's okay.
So it was fun to watch the middle schoolers last week. My daughter was part of that program, so I was in her ear a lot. But to watch them where they come in and they don't know anybody. Some of them identified with the instructor because they've had her before,
right?
But they didn't know the other kids. So they come in and it's very they're confined to their space and they don't want to act out of the ordinary or whatnot. But by Wednesday, they were joking, they were having fun, they were collaborating on what pieces to use to make their projects more better for whatever word. Yeah,
Sure.
Just improve their projects because they did a variety of different ones. And the cool thing was the collaboration, watching that happen, and then recognizing the fact of that's why art's important.
Sure.
And going back to that and saying, these kids, they're benefiting not just by the art instruction that's happening in the room and learning from different artists and different mediums, but they're enhancing their communication skills. They're figuring out through their own problem solving and working as a team to jump over that hurdle. So that was impressive. And that's a testament to why art is important, not just to our kids, but to everybody. It is, there's a lot to it. And I go back to that, and I think that's why this summer camp is successful.
So I was about to say.
They walk away from that with just the recognition that it's a positive. They had a positive moment, and they attribute to that to the art, to the kids in the room. It helps. It helps with the next step.
Oh, for sure, and it helps shape their minds.
Yeah.
Critical thinking, different perspectives. If for no other reason.
Yeah.
You look at different perspectives.
Yes.
So, Maria, real quick, where can people get more information?
www.leesburgcenterforthearts.com.
All right. Well, that's all the time we have for today. I'd like to thank our guest, Maria, very much for coming on the show and sharing all of that information.
Yay.
And that does it for today. Thank you for joining us for Radio Waves. We'll see you next time.